After watching the full episode of Caresha Please, I really think Caresha is still in contact with Diddy. I think she still has a relationship with him, and I think she still talks to him. And there's something to be said about women like that. Women like that are very male-centered, and when they're all about the bag and chasing the bag, they're not the best people to be around. You don't want to be around women like that because they are dangerous. I was watching one of my favorite content creators' video. She goes by Real Talk with Yanni. Watch it. It's a really, really good take. She made a point that it seemed like Caresha was protecting Diddy in that video. And I really think she really was. The way she was talking about him, we were in love, we loved each other. And I feel like for someone who can sit there and do that and talk about that after everything else came out, after the whole video came out of what he was doing to Cassie, is honestly very shocking. Because yes, I understand that you can fall in love with someone and have them in your life, and it's hard to just stop loving someone. But for someone like Caresha who's trying to fix her image, you coming off protective of that man is not a good brand for you. The only thing that should be coming out of your mouth is that man was disgusting. I cannot believe I was involved with him. I should have never ever been involved with him. Like, I cannot believe I was involved with someone who was doing that. And I was blind. I was blindsided. I was caught up in love with this man. And yes, he had red flags and I completely just did not, I looked past them. She was not taking accountability, and she was just kind of acting like she doesn't get why people switch up on her. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're sitting on this podcast defending this man, damn near freaking defending him. If that was me, the only thing that's coming out of my mouth is how much I despise that man and how disgusting he is, and I don't want anything to do with them or be in any kind of association with that person. She was so male-centered and so blinded by Diddy, to the point where she's not seeing her own disloyalty to JT. And it's like she's using JT as a scapegoat. I feel like she's trying to put the fire towards more JT than the whole Diddy thing to kind of take the pressure off of her, which is so sick. And it's crazy how the way she was promoting Diddy, the way she was just loud and proud about Diddy. And she's not showing that same kind of enthusiasm when it comes to JT and her endeavors. But JT has shown up for Caresha and her endeavors when she got her show, when she started acting. I have not seen any kind of support at all from Caresha when it comes to JT's album that she released. And I know she's upset about it because she feels like, oh, she didn't tell me. But it's like, you've been just ditching her in a way. You've been just all about Diddy for the longest time. And what the she's supposed to do? Just sit and just watch you elevate and not do something for herself? And now again, JT's not 110% innocent in this whole thing because she had her own thing going as well. But I just feel like Caresha, it was so male-centered. She's the type of woman where it's just all about the men, and she kind of forgets about everyone else. It's so insane. It's kind of scary to be around women like that. And I hope to God that I don't run into women like that. And yes, people make mistakes. People do things. But for me, I watch how you take accountability after you make a mistake, after you say and do something that you may not necessarily know what you were doing, but then after, when everything comes to light and you haven't taken a step back to evaluate your own part in your own suffering, that's when I'm like, okay, you and I cannot be friends. You and I cannot be in cahoots.
What you guys are not about to do on this internet is demonize JT when it comes to this whole City Girls versus Caresha versus JT, the whole fallout, the City Girls no longer being together. Because the only thing you guys really have on JT is, oh, Caresha held them down when, JT was in prison. And you guys really act like JT was just sitting in prison and just twiddling her thumbs like she wasn't doing anything. The girl was rapping, she was writing, she was rapping, she was still working. Yes, Caresha was out here, she was performing and promoting the City Girls. And at the same time, y'all, that's what she was supposed to do. She's part of a contract. It wasn't like she was choosing to do it. She had to do it. And another thing that's really making me mad is that Caresha and people were expecting JT to sit back and watch Caresha. She's all with Diddy. Everything was about Diddy. She's getting her own show. She's elevating. She's acting. And JT was just supposed to sit by idly and just be like, you know what? I'm just going to wait here. When she's ready to come back to do City Girls, I'm going to, just sit and wait for her. And you guys are expecting her to not do anything with herself. She was watching the way Caresha was moving, and she was probably thinking, you know what? Eventually, because she's elevating. She's with Diddy. Diddy is, bringing her everywhere, you know, giving her these opportunities, she's eventually going to be like, you know what, I can't do the city girls anymore. So JT saw that and she's like, you know what, I need to do something for myself. I need to pull back. I need to start working on my own music. I need to start elevating. And I cannot stand friends like that who are doing better in life and they are moving how they want to move. And mind you, they're not necessarily telling their friend every little thing that they're doing, but then the moment their friend starts to do something for themselves, they expect that friend to come to them and tell them every single detail that they're doing and moving through their life, because they're like, why didn't she let me know? And then they get mad, why didn't you let me know? You should have let me know, because that's moving shady, that's moving shiesty. Caresha's life with Diddy completely went up in flames. What she was expecting from him, she didn't get that. And by the way, anyone with eyes can see that Diddy was using Caresha, and Caresha was the only one not seeing it because she was in love with this man. She can tell you all day that she was not in love with this man. She was in love with him. And now that everything went up into flames, I feel like she's low-key using JT as an scapegoat, not only to keep herself from taking accountability for her just letting Diddy in her life and ruining things for her. Now she's just using JT as the scapegoat. I just think it's so unfair how y'all are crucifying JT out here for her taking her own path and saying, you know what, then I'm gonna do what's best for me, when Caresha was doing what's best for her. But now that Caresha, she doesn't know where to go from now, because she had her eggs in her basket with Diddy and things have exploded. You guys are choosing to demonize JT like JT did something to Caresha. Like she's the reason why her life is the way it is now, when it was Caresha that let Diddy into her life and wreak havoc into her life. And instead of taking a step back and holding herself accountable, she's somehow bringing city girls into it. And it's so unfair. It is so unfair. Like, there's nothing wrong with JT working on her album by herself. She had to do what she had to do for herself. What was she supposed to do? Check in with her? No, I'm not checking in with you when you're doing your own thing. You're elevating. I'm going to do my own thing and I'm going to elevate. Now, were there things that were wrong between the friendship that they both did? Yes. Like, I don't agree with, if you and your friend are having an argument, don't bring it to the internet. Never bring it to the internet. Like, have it, just have the conversation in private. But that is not enough for y'all to demonize JT over. Like, that's just overkill. You guys are doing way too freaking much. And I don't want to say what it is, because y'all always like, well, you guys love to say this, or you love to say this ism, but that's what it's fucking giving a little bit.